Hey guys, welcome back. So today I have a really special guest and we're going to be talking about why the sudden change of heart from chia to no more farming. And we're going to take it off right now. Hey, what's going on? How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good.
So you are an ex-farmer, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh boy, I want to hear this one.
Yeah. Well, so the whole chia thing, I loved it. I thought, hey, this is another Bitcoin like poor man's investor, no pun intended. Like everybody can get in on this and we can make some money again. And maybe in the future it's going to go up to where the Bitcoin level would be. But yes, once the whales jumped in, and we're talking about the people like that are way bigger than you and I.
Right.
Because I started, I think, right before you did.
Okay.
Because a lot of your videos when you got into it, and I was watching some other videos like when it first came out. So I'm looking at it originally, like, I think I had to jump on this. This seems like great idea because Bram was like, if you've got a 2 terabyte hard drive and a Raspberry Pi, you can be part of this project. Great. And that Bitcoin idea came in. So I started spending the money and took an old computer system and hooked that all up and started buying drive. And then, as you know, the price of drives just started going all the way up to the roof. And then at some point in time, I was like, all right, we're getting around the 50 terabyte, this is about good for, the average person. I think this is like probably way more.
Is that what you were sitting on, 50 terabytes?
Close to.
Okay. And you know what's unfortunate about that is that a lot of people at this point in time would say 50 terabytes, that's nothing. In the real world, 50 terabytes is a lot of data. That's not your average, I have extra space at home and I'm going to farm chia 50 terabytes. You know what I mean? Like that, I don't understand that concept.
Well, okay, so the concept comes in because you've got a lot of people right now. They're not exactly whales, but they're more like, where you have your own, how do I put it? Like data server. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, they've got plenty of those drives laying around and they've been purchasing those as they went. So those type of people will look at it and say 50. That's not
the intention for Chia was to direct it towards everyone in general, you and I included, not people who were in the industry having extra storage or these capacity to hold this type of storage.
Oh, it made sense that businesses, universities, places like that would all hop in on this. Mm-hmm. Even when I did like people were getting in with AWS. That's brilliant. That's great. But then I didn't realize that the capacity with the network, it grew so fast. I mean, I remember seeing it at like, I think, was it 7 exabytes, 6 exabytes? Right. And next thing you know, we're up in the 30s and I'm like, oh my God, the estimated time went from like 1 week to 2 weeks to 1 month to 6 months to 8. I'm like, oh my God.
I've come across a few other individuals, maybe in the same boat as you as far as capacity wise, right? You say 50 terabytes, more or less people are around there and they drop off. And every time that gets mentioned or that, people see that, they say, well, it was only 50 terabytes. Like, what did you really expect? But unfortunately, that shouldn't even be from the same community that you were trying to support.
Exact. That is 100% true. But at the same time, I see their side of the story where, hey, if you're that enthusiastic and that gung-ho over it, keep buying drives, keep going, keep going. If you go back to the original idea, what it was supposed to be, and now I'm going a whole year without getting one XCH, not one block. I'm kind of like, I'm burning how many hundreds of watts per day, and I'm getting 0.
Have you joined a pool with that 50 terabytes after that?
No, I didn't.
You did not.
And then
OG plots. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was doing the OG.
Okay.
I did my updates and everything like I was supposed to with the UI, but I stayed OG.
Okay, so you had no intentions of joining any pools, even though you knew that you would start earning something.
Correct.
Okay. Was there a reason for that?
Yeah, because now we're in Bitcoin land. So now we're going to get a little teeny tiny taste.
A fraction, yes.
Yes, and it's not even worth it.
I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I mean, you get this fraction, you're getting pennies to the dollar because of the amount of storage that you have, and you feel like it's gone way beyond its own good on what it should be less than a year or at a year.
Right, and so it's like, here's a good example for you. Hopefully
Okay.
this is okay. So on eBay, they sell the Gecko Science new packs, and how those up way up in price, and people kept thinking, oh, I'm going to make money off Bitcoin with one of these things. I'm going to hit a block. Somebody did hit a block, but out of thousands of people, and probably
it's like playing the lottery, right?
Right. And that's what I became. I kind of hoped that maybe they would have had like more XCHs to start off with.
I mean, they do, but in the
I mean,
pre-farm,
they're hot. Well, they did the pre-farm, and they're hodling what they have right now because they're waiting for the IPO. And to be honest with you, I thought, that goes to IPO. It's going to be one of the first of its specific kind that's going to have its own IPO. And
Right.
once they get into the business model that Bram talked about, where they would start lending money to businesses, which there are actually a few different coins that are doing it. I was just looking at 2 of them the other day. You had to have like 1,400 to put in, and I was like, nah. And then the other one was like, you could put in a couple hundred here or there, or 50 or 60, whatever.
You know what? I would think that Chia may try to revolutionize or be the first one into this world, but I'm sure as a follow-up, there is going to always be McDonald's can't always be king forever, right? There's going to be Burger King, there's going to be Wendy's and Chick-fil-A,
Taco Bell, and
right? The competition will be stiff.
I ended up buying more hard drives. So now I'm up to 100 terabytes at home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I'm running that off 2 different systems. And instead of farming Chia, I decided to go with SC Prime.
Any reason why that?
Oh, yeah. Because SC Prime, as long as you can keep your server going, it's guaranteed that you make money, right? I mean, it's slowly going to start settling down to where you're not going to make as much. At least I know that I'm making something,
right.
And it's going to be more than what I would be making with Chia. That's why I jumped on the SC Prime pool and just wiped everything out on the one computer, started up another computer with, another 70, 80 terabytes.
I mean, what do you feel about Chia project itself? I know you're not going to be farming it anymore, and you feel that the fractions that you would earn from the amount of space that you have wasn't worth it. But what about the project and the team itself? As far as what you see on the media or Twitter or wherever else?
Oh, Twitter. Oh, God. every time the brand gets on there.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, I do kind of get it. It's just that I think they've got a good team.
Okay.
I know that the one guy is from Intel, right? Mart is a whip.
Yeah. And JM Storage you're referring to? I
believe so. Because I was, not talking, but I was watching his videos constantly at the very beginning. And I know that guy's smart. And I know Bram is no slouch. But Bram's kind of the .com type personality, and then you got Gene. Gene's the business guy. And I remember tweeting Gene a few questions before because I didn't know how technical Gene was at the time. And I found out he wasn't as technical as he was business savvy. Well, because I was kind of curious to see like, okay, well, so if I enable compression and then I disable indexing, will that help me get XCH faster because maybe I can free up resources and or maybe do I have to keep indexing and disable compression? And I there was like little things like that was like going through my head that I was trying to figure out in the very beginning. And I was tweeting with him about that. And he's like, I don't know.
So you feel like they have a good team, but I mean, that wasn't convincing enough for you to stick around though.
No, if I'm going to ROI off Chia, because one of the predictions that I saw that was on Twitter was that it's probably going to go down to about $20 per XCH by June. That was the prediction. I mean, even if it gets down to 30 or even below 20, I'm still going to buy some this summer.
So you personally would still invest in Chia, but just not as a farmer?
Correct, because I just don't think that the ROI is there.
So a lot of people would counter that with what you just said, because you can't ROI. And their counter to that would be, the project's only been 1 year. How much faster do you expect to ROI on something like this? What was your expectation?
Oh, my expectation was probably like maybe 2 to 3 years for the ROI.
Okay.
But, and when that opening bell hit, come on, that opening bell hit, it was like, hot day.
It was an instant ROI.
we're at 1,600, and there was a few people. One of them was on YouTube. I'm pretty sure, I don't know the guy, communicate with him, but I'm pretty sure he sold out pretty fast.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And he just went poof.
Yep. Haven't spoke about it since.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
that was a sweet, I would say that was a very strategic.
It was intelligent.
Custom rug that he made for himself. Yes. You're not the only one who's seen that. A lot of people noticed that.
And When I saw him doing what he was doing, I started thinking about getting the plastic out and saying, okay, let's see bigger than the Joneses. I even went down to the local recycling center because they get data center stuff in there. They always upgrade. And I went to school for IT and I was like, I could really blow this out of the water and pull Tim Allen.
Obviously, you saw it when it launched and it came out 6000. At what point did you realize that as you kept seeing the downtrend, did you say this is not it?
As soon as it got in the 60s, the low
$60. Okay, so that's recent. That's like really recent. Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably 3 weeks ago, I think.
Even with like all hopes of it coming back up, not even a chance.
No. And the only reason I'm going to buy and hold, it's just I'm going to take the hodl approach, just on for dear life. Because really, it doesn't matter what coin you buy. You need one coin. And it's that one coin that if you put a little bit into it and it turns into the next Bitcoin, sell out. Of course, now we got to pay tax like crazy. That's a whole nother ball of wax.
I guess they have to understand, as far as the community, you're not the only one who's dropping off. You just so happen to be speaking to me about it, but there are a lot of people that sold off.
Drop it. I kind of thought maybe I had to stick into it because now my odds are going up. So they went down in the beginning where they were recently, well, not recently, in the beginning, they were reasonably well. And as the netspace grew, my chances went down. Now that the netspace went down, my chances are coming back up.
Well, with the netspace going down, it's not like it's going ridiculously down. I mean, we're still sitting at the 27, right?
Sorry.
27 EIBs it's down, but it's still a lot of competition.
It is. But it was just something I thought about. It was just a thought in the back of my head because I still love the project. I still love the idea of the project. Great. I hope these guys take it to the moon, and I hope they do exactly what they said they were going to do with it. There's been a lot of hurry up and wait, like with the IPOs, and I understand that, when it comes to banks and lawyers, it's hurry up and wait.
Right.
There's not a lot of updates on that.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to update on. Personally, I've tried looking into it and, just look at the SEC filing for Chia Networks. They do have paperwork in there. They do have the X amount of dollars that they've submitted with it. But honestly, for the SEC approval for something like this, the first in its kind will be a little difficult because the SEC has always treated crypto as,
an ugly stepchild.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be really difficult to convince them otherwise at this point.
The way that the SEC works and Wall Street works is it's only good as if it's good for them.
Right.
The bottom line. In the end, I think it's going to end up doing something. Okay. I just don't know how well it's going to do.
Now, I want to make clear because I know a lot of my viewers and my subscribers are going to come on here and watch this video and see you talking and they're going to be like, who the hell are you? Right. And I just want to make it clear that who you are, Mr. B, you're no different from any other farmer that's out there doing Chia right now, including myself. So whether Mr. B drops off and decides not to do Chia because of his own reasoning, there's plenty of more people who are doing that. And then if the community doesn't feel that pain of why farmers are dropping off, then there's a problem, right? Then this community is not going to grow.
Correct.
I don't know if there's a lot of people that say that I FUD Chia, right?
What? No. No.
I actually got staff of Chia saying that I FUD Chia, but my rebuttal to any of that is, one, I've been giving away XCHs, all right? Whatever. Two, I probably talk more about Chia on current state of Chia than anyone else on YouTube.
That is actually true. There was one person, I think about 3 weeks ago, that talked about Chia. And it was like for maybe 1 or 2 episodes. And then that was all
And 3 is like, I talk about what I feel at the moment based on what I see. I'm not going to come on every day to talk about Chia and just shill it. So I can pump it and then get rid of what I have. You know what I mean?
I think the old pump and dump with Chia right now,
it's over.
Well, no, actually, it may not.
Okay.
It's that IPO. I truly believe that once that hits and everything gets the green light, that's when we're going to see those prices jump.
Well, I have my own opinions about that. The IPO can happen. Let's just say, hypothetically, the IPO happens tomorrow.
Okay.
Bigger problem to that is, where do I go buy it? And how does the average retailer go and buy it besides jumping hurdles? You know what I mean? There's no
Yeah.
Coinbase, there's no Robinhood. If there's not on the exchanges, how do you buy this coin?
Well, I thought that they were going to do something where if you had the UI, you could buy it right off the UI.
That worked for a moment. A lot of people ran into, issues with that, me including, because we're in New York City. I don't know what other states have that limitation of not being able to, that particular exchange that you're talking about, I think was Stably, has limitations in certain states where not everyone can buy. Hitting more exchanges allow the ability for end users, retail investors, without second think it, download the app, install it, do whatever you do, or if you're already using it and you can buy it. But purposely having to do something really specific just for Chia, I don't see that as a mainstream option.
Yeah, one of the things that I with like that SC Prime I was telling you about, I actually go to like one of those offshoot type trading platforms. So I used a thing called Trade Ogre, and I used it for the first time. And let me tell you something, you go to one of these other third-party platforms, it's not super easy like Coinbase, and your heart's doing this because you don't know if
it's nerve-wracking. I do that all the time. Every time you trade these meme coins that are not on the main exchange, you have to put your money into these, like you're transferring between, and it is freaky. It is freaky because there's no insurance on that. You screw up, it's your fault.
Have you noticed, like, I don't know if you're into like some of the coins that do the annual percentage rates?
No.
Okay. Well, I've noticed like on some things, like between like Coinbase and like Exodus, on a few coins that there was a huge difference in the percentage of APY that you get. And it's the same coin. Yeah. When it comes to the exchanges, I got a feeling it's probably going to end up on one of those like off exchanges when they first start out.
XCHs were on Gate.io and they have since removed it because they're not catering to the US customers anymore. Whatever limitations, I didn't get into the full details of that. And I wasn't even using Gate.io. I use KuCoin. So that's like, for me, it's one of the bigger ones that are still dealing with XCHs. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of XCH exchanges currently. So getting back to the main topic of that is, even if it went IPO, it needs to be easily accessible to the retail investors.
This is true. I did have hopes it would be on Coinbase. Because you would bring it to the masses, not just the farmers, but everybody and anybody would be able to get involved in that. And that would raise the price of Chia up, get more people involved in it. Even if some kid, wanted to try out a Raspberry Pi and that 2 terabyte hard drive, at least you could get that person involved because they could see that money going back and forth. But yeah, you're 100% right, though.
Let's sum this up right now. So one, you feel that the Chia team is capable, but what's the limitation with Chia Network company itself?
I think the limitation with the Chia company right now is, like you said, the accessibility to start with. Visibility is another one.
Some may argue that point, though. Visibility as far as being more transparent on what they're doing?
Well, that would be one thing. But I think, though, because of the IPO, you can't be that transparent right off the rip. Right. It's like disclosing a sale before it happens. They need to get it out there a little bit more. But
I mean, so what I'm trying to understand is, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask the same question, is that you don't think that the time frame from when they started till now is still too soon, or people expect too much from them within the last year?
Yeah, I know I expected more, but
now did you expect more because of the way they pushed it?
Yes.
So it's not our fault to expect that.
Exactly.
But a lot of people would say, she's only been in existence for 1 year. Why you want this and that? Well, who kept pushing the IPO, right?
Right. Well, and on top of that, though, when crypto first starts, it's usually the easiest to farm gets going.
Not the opposite.
Right. And when that happened, that was one of the huge things that put me off.
You want to know one sad fact that someone told me, and they started Chia way before the whole mainnet, before it even got hyped. And the sad part is, you said that you started before me.
Yeah, just
more or less. Right. Just a little bit before, and before it even went on to having a value for XCH, basically. Right. What I was told is that I didn't get in on it early enough. How much more early did I have to be in bed with Bram in order to be early? Like, hey, what's going on over here?
No, like I think with that one, I think that if you would have been in the very early pre-farm, like day that they would have announced it, if you would have been in that far ahead, because it took in the beginning before Mad Max Plotter came out and before people came up with tricks like so I got a Dell Precision 7810, right? And I needed it for a workstation for CAD CAM and some other stuff that I was doing. I also switched out the processors, so I had two 40 core processors in here. And when you put that in with one of those little NVMe drives,
it goes, yeah.
Oh my God, we're talking about doing plots in minutes.
Right.
Before that, though, we're talking about days. Like I would come home from work and I would look and I'm like, oh my God, this is still going. And then I would come home some nights and I'd say, oh God, Windows, you just updated on me. Now I have to start all over again. And I was so close. And you're playing around with big plots and then the littler plots. And
have you gotten into any type of other mining besides hard drives?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 5 of the future bit miners.
Okay.
The Bitcoin right now.
No GPUs though. You have any
No.
GPU? No. Okay.
I have one GPU for my gaming computer, and I just game.
Okay.
I have a soft place in my heart for gaming. I'd love to get a new GPU, but
prices have been coming down, so it's been a good thing.
Oh, Alchemist is coming. It's coming. I think when Alchemist here, we're going to have that extra competition to bring prices down some more.
Yeah. Let me go back. Let me for a second before I lose track. So one, you think the company is capable, but you think that it was hyped too much and you don't find it transparent. Well, I wouldn't say transparent enough. You just wanted more information on the whole IPO aspect of it. You don't feel like it's there yet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It wasn't just the hype. It was selling the fact that it could be anybody that could get into it. And although that is a very true statement, it's winning the lottery.
Correct.
And that wasn't really one of the things that they mentioned.
I don't think they anticipated it to be that big, that fast.
I think they hoped for it.
I think a lot of people hope for it. I mean, especially on anyone who's working there, and that team would hope for that. I'm sure everyone who had earned it hoped that the price would have stayed up in the thousands and above too. Oh, right. That would have been
mining if it was in the thousands and above.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I probably, even on this very day, a year later, if this price of XCHs was still, I would say, north of $800, that network space would not have dropped from 30 to 27 right now.
Oh God, no! You probably doubled.
the time to win will probably be 100 times more, and everything else will be, I can understand why you're departing from it. Honestly, you're one of many. There are a lot of people who are, and you can see it on Reddit, you can see it on Facebook. I can say you can see a lot of it coming from all aspects of social media, because now these are the very same people who are trying to sell their hardware.
Deals to be had on eBay at the moment.
Right. eBay has always been a top contender in buying recycled or old used hardware. More so now because these hard drives are going right back into the market. Yep. This very same used hard drives that they bought are going right back as a third-hand used hard drive market now.
And some of one of the recycling centers too. And I kind of find that's kind of sad, but I mean, it is what it is.
So let's just sum this up right now. The future of Chia. What would you expect to see maybe 5 years from now? What do you think?
Well, actually, let's go further out. Let's say 10, because if it acts like Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin dropped, like it was up there for a little bit. And then when it dropped, because I mined Bitcoin in college, I had like 1,000 Bitcoin. I'm not joking either.
Wow.
I had two 4890s running simultaneously. I even burned one out mining Bitcoin. I ran that thing 24/7 when I was in college thinking, man, this is going to be the future. Oh, this is going to pay for my college. And then some guy bought a pizza with it, 10,000 Bitcoin for a pizza. And I looked at that computer and I looked at that burnout GPU and I was like, oh, well, the heck with this. Out the door it goes. Now I'm kicking myself in the butt. And I think 10 years from now, that's Chia.
You wouldn't kick yourself 10 years from now knowing that you stopped farming Chia?
No, because I'm going to wait for that price to drop a little bit and then I'm going to buy in and hodl. Okay.
All right. So that would be equivalent to you buying Bitcoin back in the day, but not mining it yourself.
Exactly. Because if the roadmap ends up being similar, for me to ROI or for me to make a better profit, would it go that way?
Okay, so what I'm going to say here, you're an ex-Chia farmer, by choice, because you don't see any potential in it currently. But as the price comes down lower, you will buy the XCH directly because you feel in 10 years that it can be the next Bitcoin.
I do.
Wow, that's very powerful. That is very unique angle though.
And that's been my belief since the beginning.
Okay.
Even when we're at the 1600 and believe it or not, I was palpitations. I was like, oh, this is so awesome. And got dropping down. But I started taking a look at the different markets, right? And like I said, I think it's on the same road as Bitcoin. I really think it is. I mean, and I believe in the project still. It's just for me as a regular person, I think it's going to end up being wait till I can buy it, hodl, and just hold on to it.
All right. That sounds pretty interesting. I have yet to meet anyone who has stopped farming but still believed in the project, but this is definitely a different take. Yeah, I want to thank you so much for discussing this with me. It's a very eye-opening discussion because, I like to get different opinions from other people to see where they stand and why it doesn't make sense to continue on. But obviously you have a different take on things.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, I could be 110% wrong. That's
but but that 110% wrong is a lot cheaper with the approach that you're taking.
Yes. By going that route, I think not only will I save a lot of money and time, I think that that's going to be the way to go. And then maybe when it starts getting back up there again, I might switch over depending on the ROI and the profitability, because I'm still growing my farm at home because I'm doing other projects too.
Right.
As I try other hard drive projects and I build my farm up, I may come back to Chia at some point if it becomes what I think it's going to become. But for right now and probably the next 5 years, nah.
Nothing, right?
Nope.
Okay. All right. I want to thank you again. I appreciate that. Great insight to learning about what your thinking is in regards to Chia. I was very interested to know why you told me you quit, and I finally understood the reason. So that is definitely a good take on things.
I feel bad about it, to be honest with you.
No, I hear you. You just have to, balance it. Balance between that judgment call of what's profitable, what's not currently. Unfortunately, not everyone's made out of money, right? So
exactly.
All right. I want to thank you, Mr. B. I appreciate it so much. And remember to hit that like, comment, and subscribe. As always, I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.